Okay, here's a quick video of stainless FX on stainless steel. It is by request. I had a customer that wanted to see if it would work on 440C stainless, so I got a small blade. I hacked a scale on it. I'm not a knife maker, obviously, but I did want kind of a rough look, and I used some, I don't know, kind of, I don't think it's burl, but it's some kind of walnut, and I just kind of hacked it on there. So what I'm going to do is, the wood is not completely sanded yet, and it's not polished at all. There's no wax on it. There's no sealer of any kind. And right before the video, I wiped the blade down, and the rest of the exposed stainless, I wiped it down with denatured alcohol. If you're going to use a solvent, denatured alcohol or vodka. You don't want to use anything else, because even acetone's got petroleum distillates in it, and it will screw you up, because the surface prep you see here and the actual patina that does the case hardening effect on all steel. Actually, this works on mild steel, stainless, copper even, but it doesn't work on aluminum. So let's just say it works on carbon steel, low carbon, high carbon, doesn't matter. Most of the stainless alloys I've tried so far, it works great, but they're water-based. And if you have any, just the slightest, my hands are bone dry right now, so I'm not worried, but if you have like skin oil, sweat drop, anything like that, it's going to screw you up. It's going to leave spots that don't take color. So what I'm going to do is just set this here, and I'm going to open these jars up, and I'm going to pour. It's not going to take very much. It's going to take like just a few drops of each product. It's a two-part patina, so you have to use the surface activator followed by the actual patina. Give it a nice little gentle shake is all it needs, and we'll pour a little bit of that into the other little tray I have here. These are called these are called weigh boats, and I use them in the lab all the time for weighing out powders. This one's got a little bit of had one drop of the orange solution, and we don't want to mix them. We mix them in a sense that we layer them when we're working on steel, but we wouldn't want to take these two products and mix them together. It wouldn't work. So I noticed there was a little yellow or orange dot in there, and that's not good. So we'll just put a few, like a teaspoon, and that's going to be way too much, but I'll put the cap back on so I don't have any more bloopers than I need to have on this video. Set that aside, and most important thing for me is that I've got enough caffeine to go through the whole video. So I'm going to have a hit of my Mountain Dew. And now we can start. I wanted to show you too, use your imagination on what you use to put the products on the steel. These are some little micro brushes used in paint detailing, tattoos. I think ink artists use them for this and that. The reason I'm twisting it around is I got two cameras going here. Okay, so I don't think I've ever used these for patina work, but it's just something that could be used. I use these pipettes a lot. They're just little disposable 1 milliliter pipettes. 1 milliliter is roughly equivalent to 30 drops of water, and you can just, pull up a little bit and then just push out 1 drop at a time. I use these an awful lot. On this particular knife, I'm going to try without masking. You don't need to mask. You can if you want, if it makes you feel better. Say you want to leave This area I'll use a pipette as a pointer. Fingers are kind of big. Anyway, if you wanted to leave that back exposed and not colored, that's fine. Just a little roll of tape just to keep keep the products off the wood or off the part you don't want to patina. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try very carefully to patina just what I think is hollow ground, not sure. But I want to do just the blade area where it's ground. In this part up here, I don't want any color. If I accidentally get some color up here, it ain't no big deal. You just buff it off or polish it off with some quadruple aught, 4/0 steel wool. So here's the deal. And then of course there's the old standby daubers. You see them in PVC glue cans and stuff. I personally have never used a dauber for patina work, but you certainly could. What I'm going to do, since it, you know what, this is actually a pretty good application for it though. I would normally use just a piece of paper towel, but I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to use this dauber. I've got a couple of them. You just get it damp, extra damp. It doesn't need to be dripping. And the whole key here is to get the surface activator on the area that you want color, but nowhere else. And if you see it separating, like I don't know if you can see that. I don't know. I don't have anybody behind the camera, but see that little island of dry? It's making an island right there. That's not a good sign. So my fingerprint must have been oilier than I thought. I'm going to wipe that off. I'm going to get some denatured alcohol. I have no idea if the cameras are focusing, no clue. But anyway, I'm going to take this same little scrap of a paper towel and just get it kind of damp. I'm going to re-wipe this blade and get us to remove any waxes or oils or anything that will repel water. Whenever you get an island of dry, you see a spot of dry occur after you've put a water-based product on, that means that there is something there repelling the water. Because, trust me, if all of the oil is gone, you will not see those dry spots. So here we go again, take two. We're going to put, I don't have very good lighting here, but I'm going to put the surface activator on, and I'm going to try to not get up on that spot. You just need it wet. You need full coverage, and if you'll notice, there's now no dry spots. That's how you tell. It's called a water break test if you're interested. It's a way to tell if you've got surface contaminants on your steel. And then you take your other dauber, which is actually kind of way too big, but you could use a little paintbrush, like a little cheapy throwaway paintbrush. But that surface, you can't tell maybe in the camera or in the video, but it's still wet. So I'm just going to dab. I'm going to dab kind of randomly over that entire lower part of the blade, and you will see the color reaction starting to work. Now, if you want to, there's two things that make a spot darker, and that is leaving it on longer, or I got a little bit up on that top part, but there was no activator, so it didn't do anything. At this point, I take a little water, and I really can't do this in the camera without screwing up everything. I guess I could do it right here. You want to just take a little bit of water and neutralize that, what you've done. Then you can wipe it and check it and see if you like it. If you don't like it, and I don't, I mean, it's okay, but we can do a lot better, and I'll show you how. I'm going to take one of these tiny little touch-up brushes, and it's okay to put the activator on and get it on a place that you already like. It will not take off the patina, but there's the tip right here, and let's just do the tip to start with. The tip is, I just blocked one of my cameras. It's about 2 in the morning, so bear with me. Okay, so we're going to do that tip. You can see the tip is just kind of silver still. I'll put a little bit of activator on that and go back with this really tiny brush and just make sure that it's got the stainless FX patina on that area, and as soon as I get it where I like it, you can kind of press down and move it a little bit, and that helps sometimes. Okay, I'm gonna neutralize that with just a little spritz of water. You could also use a wet paper towel. You don't have to use a spray mist of water. But as you notice, I'm using this towel. It's getting kind of dirty. Hold on. Here's the product. You know, you've got, it's kind of looking cool, but there's still like an area of silver right here that I don't like all that well. And this is a little bit too golden brown for me, so I'm going to try to work in those 2 areas next. We'll use this paper towel for wiping. What I wanted to show you is you can't wipe that color off. You can sand it off. You can get real aggressive with steel wool even and wipe it off, but not just by wiping it. See, there's nothing on the towel to speak of. Okay, let's tackle that. These daubers are way too big. I would be really better off with a small paintbrush on a knife. This is a really tiny knife. It looked really big in the picture when I bought it, by the way. And I didn't really notice the write-up and how big it was. I'm going to use another one of these micro brushes because I've got a pretty small area there of silver I want to fix. I'm going to get that, and I'm going to get this golden brown area, and that's all. And then I'm going to take my other brush for the patina. I hope you can see that okay. I can't. And I'm going to go back into this spot and just tap it and roll, and it's getting dark pretty quick, so I'm going to, the color is getting dark pretty quick, so I'm going to stop the process and then go to another spot, which would be this area right here. And then a little fresh patina, and then we're going to just carefully work on that spot. And you can see the color emerging and shifting a little bit. It's exactly what I wanted. So again, with the water, like I say, a wet rag or sponge is really all you need, but I got that little spray bottle here. So I've got a little bit up on the flat part of the knife. Not a lot. It looks pretty dang good actually. And no harm, no foul on the scales, on the handle, and no run over on the. By the way, I'm going to sand off or sharpen the knife and make the edge silver again when I'm done. But that looks okay. I'm going to get kind of anal here and do one more little spot right here, and I wished I could get in the habit of putting my brush back in the fluid, but so right here I want a little more blue. It's always a good idea to rest this on something if you can. I'm not 100% set up for this particular video, but I just wanted a little more darkness right there, and I got it. So I'm going to call this side done, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's sealed with Renaissance wax. Okay, there. Good luck on the lighting, but there it is. Use this white background, and hopefully you can see color, and I'm going to go to the other camera and show it to that. Hold it in an arc so maybe the light will catch it and you can see it's really quite vivid, and it looks to me better than a lot of bone charcoal heat treating, which is kind of, I guess it's okay if that's what you want to do, but it doesn't help anything, and it rubs off easier than this stuff. Okay, so now we're going to do the other side, and do not worry if some of this orange activator runs over this edge, and on the other side it won't take off the patina. Hopefully we've got an oil-free side here. I've got a little bit of, no, it's pretty good. Whether or not you can see that, there's no dry spots, so we're in good shape. Now I'm going to take the bigger dauber, which is way too big, and then I will just touch, 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 touch. You know, oftentimes when I'm doing this, I just use my fingertip. But repeated touching and a little pressure here and there will give you a pattern that is totally random. And you wouldn't be able to duplicate that pattern. I'll let that sit for just maybe 10-15 seconds. Let it roll around a little. There's a little over on the edge, but I can buff that out in no time. So right now it's working, and it's not, I can tell it's not really deepening, so what I'm going to do is hit it with water, wipe it off, or wipe off the excess water, and that's a pretty cool look, but that's not what we're after. So let me freshen that up a little bit. Just a little tiny bit. Make sure we've got enough product in there to get something done. Okay, so I'm going to take that dauber and shake out the excess. Daub this side again with the surface activator. Oh, by the way, there's no smell, there's no odor. If you get it on your hand, it ain't going to hurt you. I mean, I shouldn't say that. It's kind of the opposite of what I'm supposed to say, but it ain't going to hurt you. And if it does, just rinse it off, but it won't. Okay, now we'll go for some more stainless FX on top of that fresh activator. I think what I'm doing is, these daubers, I'm not going to recommend those to anybody. I think what's happening, in fact I know what's happening, is we've got some wicking going on, and we're pulling activator up into this sponge-like fiber piece of crap dauber. We don't. You just be better off to use something else. It's because what's happening, we're mixing the activator with this, which is in turn, oh, that's getting dark quick. We're mixing the activator, it's wicking up into the dauber because there's a puddle of activator on the blade, so when we touch it with the patina, it's wicking up and translating into the dauber, in effect weakening it. So don't use these. I found them in my paint prep drawer the other day, and I thought, hey, those might be kind of cool. They're not. So anyway, we've got this side. It's not as dark, so I'm going to show you what I'll do. Actually, I don't have a lot of stuff over here. Here's a little piece of felt. You can buy felt at any fabric store, craft store, whatever. It's just a little piece of felt. They're not known for being very absorbent, but to get a little bit of this activator on, it'll be fine and more precise than my finger. And a little bit more. You want this to be good and wet with the activator. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to suck up a little bit of this in a pipette, And I'm going to put a drop right there, right there, right there. Then I'm going to just push that around a little bit as though that was my fingertip. And work it into a little bit more of a pattern. Probably have to do a third time. It's starting to turn pretty good. And that should do it. So if you noticed a little blue coming off, like a drip of blue, it's not food coloring or anything stupid like that. It's just, well, it's a secret, and it doesn't mean anything bad. Okay, so you can see right here, crap, I blocked my camera again. Okay, you can see right here, I got a little bit crazy, and I got some where I didn't need it. And in fact, I've got one spot where I do need some more, right here. And we'll fix that right now with this, if I can see it. And you know, technically this is a really tiny dauber, but it works. There was no activator there, so that ain't going to do nothing. Okay, I just sprayed off both sides of the blade. Handle's wet, and if you wanted to keep it from being wet, if you're going to seal it right away or whatever, you might want to tape it off, but there's really no need. These products will not hurt wood. You know that part I said about getting it on your skin won't burn? It's starting to burn a little right here. So I'll just hit that with a little water. And I mean, I could barely feel it, but still. Wear gloves if you want to, I don't care. I kind of like the look of both sides. I've got some silver showing right there, but it's kind of part of the pattern. I kind of like it. And then this side is a little on the light side, right here and right here. So I'm going to go back in with a little of the Patina. There's a spot right here that I kind of like to see a little darker. This Patina won't do anything to your stainless if you don't put the activator down first. Just want you to know that right up front. Okay, a little water. Wipe it down. And I'd say, I'm obviously not a bladesmith. It's just not what I do, but I'll tell you what, that's pretty cool. Now, I chose the hollow grind area. You could have done this. You could have done the whole blade. You can do the back. You could do this. Just for fun. Let's take this. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I was going to do the hardening color on the back, but it's so little I don't think you'd see it very well. So again, there's the blade. I don't have any wax handy. Shit, yeah I do. Hold on, I'll get it. Okay, I'm back. This is a 200 milliliter, which if I'm not mistaken is about 3.5 ounces, but I'm not positive. Anyway, I'm going to start carrying these in the 65 milliliter size, and this stuff is the coolest wax. It looks like I've used a lot, but there was kind of a bubble in the middle and it caved in. But I'll tell you what, a little bit goes a long way. That little bit I have on my finger right there is enough for about 5 knives. Because you just need to, let me dry it off a little bit better. Like I say, I'm not done sanding, but for the sake of showing you the difference between patinated steel with no sealer and a microcrystalline wax like this is night and day, and it's just child's play to put it on. You just rub it on, get it in everywhere you can. Do the back, the scales, and work it in a little bit. You don't need a ton. A little bit will go a long damn ways. Just kind of work it in. Make sure you didn't miss any spots. The whole point of me doing this is to show you what the difference is in the polish. You don't have to wait for it to haze over or anything. It will haze a little like a car wax, but it takes a long time, and you don't need to wait for that. These towels I'm using are really soft. They're softer than toilet paper, but they're a lot thicker. So now I'm just going to wipe off the excess, and that's also kind of moving it around into spots that I may have missed. Wipe off the excess, get a fresh piece of towel. Microfiber would be even better, but the deal is I'm just showing you how shiny it gets, how quick it is to use, and how well it does for shining up steel, whether it's patinated or not. See the difference? I'm hoping I have enough lighting here that you can see what I'm showing you. I'll put this down again for a background, and you can see, and it's slicker than, it's slick. It's slicker than frog juice. It's just really, really, really slick. And you can continue to polish it a little. I don't know why I didn't think to grab a microfiber polisher, but I didn't. Anyway, just kind of polish it up. This blade actually came pretty sharp, so I'm trying to be a little careful here, but polish it up, and that's all there is to it. Now, in real life, I would have buffed off the bad spots first, where I got a little carried away, and the patina is up in the flat part on both sides. See that right there? That needs to come off. Well, I can still buff it off real quick like, and then put some more wax on, and I'm done. But I really wanted to show you the difference of patinated, and the steel was pretty shiny. It wasn't mirror shiny, but it was pretty shiny. I wanted you to see the difference between patinated and sealed patination. Makes a lot of difference, and it's really slick. I'll show you with a little water. It beads up really pretty. See that? And you can even see it here, where I did the whole knife with that stuff, and it is bulletproof. I really, really like it. So there you have it. Color case hardening on a knife blade, 440C stainless. I'm Bill Worden with Steel FX, and I guarantee my products. Here's the stainless FX, which I used, and the surface prep. I don't know if you can see that, but you can buy this in a 4-ounce kit, 8-ounce, 16, 32, 64, and 128 ounce, which is a gallon kit, half gallon of each product. You can do a lot of stuff. I used probably, seriously, a teaspoon of each at the most, probably more like a half a teaspoon. Battery's going low. I'm done. There's the knife. Here it is, dry, and it looks pretty dang good. So we'll talk to you next time, and have a good evening. Signing off. Goodbye. My name is Bill Worden. I not only guarantee great products, I guarantee great service. You have my word on it. Thanks for watching.